So someone who applied for a healthcare assistant visa just got denied. Now, in this period where everybody's looking for tier 2 visa, skilled worker visa, or the healthcare assistant visa to stay in the UK or to come to the UK, now some people are overlooking some important details, and if you miss any of these details, you will get a denial. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to walk you through this rejection letter, this denial letter, and then show you how to avoid this kind of mistakes. All right. Now, because the UK visa system at this point, the tier 2 visa system, is a points-based system. And what this means is that if you don't get the minimum of 70 points that is required, you will not be granted the visa. So even if you get the mandatory 50 points, you still need 20 points, and sometimes these 20 points can be left to the case assessor to verify these points and then award them. So it's important that you pay attention to ensure that you do not make these mistakes. Now, what makes up the 50 points? Before I share my screen and show you this video, the 50 points is number one, that you have a sponsorship. Number two, that the occupation is that you are suitable to qualify for that occupation. And number three is your English language requirement. So even if you have these three requirements, it's important that you read between the fine details of that offer, of that CAS that you are issued, so that if there are irregularities, you resolve it. So let me show you now this rejection letter and show you the reasons why this person was denied, so that you can avoid making these mistakes, or so that you can ensure that you look out for these same things in the CAS offer letter that you get. Let's go. So this is the letter. This is the rejection letter of that visa application, and I'll show you what it says. I'll just read it and then touch on a few points so that you understand what it says. First, it says reasons for decision. Your application has been refused for the following reasons. You applied for entry clearance as a skilled worker under Appendix Skilled Worker of the immigration rules. Your application has been refused because you do not meet SW 4.2 and SW, that's the skilled worker 13.6, with reference to SW 14.1 to 14.6. You must be awarded 70 points to be granted permission as a skilled worker. This includes 50 mandatory points and 20 tradable points. I've considered the mandatory points requirements and awarded you 20 points for sponsorship, 20 points for a job at the appropriate skill level, 10 points for the English language requirements. Now, UK visa system currently is a point-based system for the tier 2 visa. So if you have a sponsorship, you automatically have 20 points. If you have a job offer that is at the appropriate skill level, you have 20 points. And then if you have the English language requirement, which is either IELTS, or you can prove that you have a degree that was taught in English, and if you came in on a student route, you automatically qualify. That's already 10 extra points, which is 50 points. That's the mandatory points that you must get. You should get ideally if you have a sponsorship. Now, this is where it becomes more interesting. Let's read on. I've considered the options for awarding tradable points, and I have awarded you 0 tradable points from option F. Therefore, I have awarded you 50 points in total. Details of why I have not awarded you 70 points are set out below. I've awarded you 0 tradable points for the following reasons. And now this is where you need to pay a lot of attention, because if you make the mistake at this point, what happens is that even though you've suffered to get a COS, you need to return that offer and get another COS. For some people, the company usually adjusts the contract before giving them a COS. But if your company has not done that and then just hands you a COS that does not meet this requirement, then you have to adjust. Either they adjust that offer, or you look for another company that will give you a COS that meets this criteria. Let's continue. You are applying as a healthcare assistant, SOC code 6141, nursing auxiliaries and assistants, band 3 and equivalent. Your salary as stated by your sponsor on your certificate of sponsorship is 21,242 pounds per year for a 38-hour work week. This equates to 10.75 pounds per hour. You are being sponsored under an occupation listed under Table 2 of Appendix Skilled Occupations. Eligible health and education occupation codes where going rates are based on national pay scales. For this reason, you may only claim tradable points under option F in line with paragraph SW 4.2 of Appendix Skilled Worker. In order to claim tradable points under option F, your salary must equal or exceed both hourly and annual going rates listed under your occupation code. Let me explain. What this means is that if it does not exceed, it has to meet both the minimum wage, if it is minimum wage, that's the going rate for that occupation code, and the annual rate. So it cannot be one or the other. Let's proceed. Let me explain, and I'll show you what that is. Your sponsor has stated on your certificate of sponsorship that your salary will be band 3 and equivalent under Table 3 of Appendix Skilled Occupations. Going rates for listed healthcare occupation codes. The annual going rate under band 3 in England is 21,730. So you can see here that the annual rate that this person will be paid is 21,242. Why the actual annual rate that is expected is 21,730 as a minimum. That's one of the reasons why I didn't get that. Going rate listed under Table 3 of Appendix Skilled Occupations are based on 37.5 hour working week and must be prorated for other working patterns. Prorated for your 38 working week, your annual salary must therefore be 22,019.74 pounds. Your certificate of sponsorship states 21,242 pounds, which is less. Therefore, your salary does not meet the required annual rates. The going rate under band 3 on an hourly basis is 11.15 pounds. I know that most people who are applying for COS jobs are willing to take menial jobs, take jobs that pay really low because of the benefit of sponsorship. But if you see at this point, what has happened is that they will not only check how much you are going to earn per hour, they also check how much you are going to earn annually. So don't just say because the job offer meets the minimum wage, then you take it. No, that does not work in the UK. That's not how it works. So for someone who is looking for band 3, ensure that by the time you prorate it, your hourly pay is going to be about £11.15 in this context, because the person is working 38 hours a week. But your annual pay should not be less than £21,730 if you want to get the sponsorship. And this is for a £21,730 for a 37.5 hour work week. So I hope this helps you. So as you go out there to look out for COS, ensure that you pay attention to these fine details. Do not take an offer that will make your visa to be rejected. Thank you very much. I hope this video helps you. Do well to subscribe to the channel and watch other videos. If you have any questions, ask in the comments and I'll be happy to answer. Thank you.